Hey guys, and welcome back for another content of the Ragnarok. And in this video, I will guide you through the basic things you need to prepare before switching jobs to either Monk, Crusader, or Sage for the next patch. If you are curious about these classes, then I have a video about them with each of their skills explained. So if you haven't checked it out, then you might want to watch it first so you can decide on what class you will be switching. I want to keep this short as we will only have one day to prepare for these two job classes. So for those who are asking for a full guide of the classes and their builds, just stay tuned as I am making these characters to study them when they are released. First and foremost, if you are currently in another job class and want to switch to these two job classes, then I suggest you save up dungeon tokens. Save at least 600 dungeon tokens so you can already complete the set after switching, and might not worry if you lose some of your combat power because, as I have said on my other video, that combat power is very essential in this game and it's not just a number. Let's move on to the Monk class. I currently recommend two builds, and you can choose the one that suits your preference best. One is the Holy Light type, which is much preferable to go to, since in Acolyte you will mostly use the Holy Light and your build is more focused on int and magic attacks, which are not hard to transition with. In this build, you don't need to put any lock stats because they already have the buff, which is the critical explosion that will give them a plus 100 critical stats. So you will just focus on int for magic attack and a bit of dex, maybe around 20, and then go for Vite for more HP and P-Def. You will be using a one-handed staff for more weapon cast speed, and you can deal the maximum damage with all sizes of monsters. For gear affixes, try to save some affix that has holy damage increase, magical attack, critical hit, and critical damage. For the card preparation, save or craft more Ride Word, Elder Willow, Baby Desert Wolf, Baphomet Jr., and racial cards for your weapon. The job classes that can easily switch to this build are the Priest and Wizards. Second is the attack speed build. This time you will use a mace or a knuckle, but I prefer the mace because it has lesser penalty to monster sizes. Your stats should have a high agility focus, and then the rest is on the strength for more P attacks. For gear affixes, try to save some affix that has P attack, critical hit, and critical damage. Now on the runes, you should have the attack speed, and the cards you need to prepare are the Thief Bug, Baphomet Jr., Matir, Male Thief Bug, and Kukri cards. Proc cards like Sidewinder, Bongan, and Injustice are also a very good slot. The job classes that can easily switch to this build are the Assassins and the attack speed build Knights, Hunters, and Blacksmiths. Now let's move on to the Crusader class. They also have two builds, which are the Magic and Physical type. In this build, I highly prefer the Magic one because your stats will be int, which gives you SP regen and more SP pool. You will also have the access to the Grand Cross that is a very strong holy element AoE. For the weapons, I suggest the two-handed spear for more P attack and magic attack, and on top of that, your Holy Cross damage will deal twice the damage. For gear affixes, try to save some affix that has magic attack, critical hit, and critical damage as usual. And for the card preparation, save or craft more Elder Willow, Baby Desert Wolf, Baphomet Jr., Lunatic, Wormtail, and Zerom. Size and racial cards are also important in the latter part. The job classes that can easily switch to this build are the Priest and Wizards. The other build is the Physical type, which relies on shield damage. They can use either one-handed sword or one-handed spear, but I prefer the one-handed spear because of the spear buff. And of course, you need to have a shield on your offhand. Your stats is likely going to be more focused on SDR and a bit of dexterity for no-cast shield boomerang, and then add luck for more critical hits. For gear affixes, try to save some affix that has P attack, critical hit, and critical damage as usual. And for the card preparation, save or craft more Cornotus, Baphomet Jr., Raglar, Mantis, and Lunatic cards. Size, racial, and element cards are still important in the latter part. The job classes that can easily switch to this build are the Mammonite Blacksmith or the Bash type Knights. And the last one is the Sage. They also have two different builds, which are the Caster, and the other one is the attack speed Auto Bolter. For the Caster build is much the same as Wizards, but I think they will not really go for the higher dex because they only need to achieve the no cast elemental bolts, unlike the Wizards that they heavily rely on dex to reduce the casting time of their AoE skills. For this build, allocate just enough dex to achieve no cast elemental bolts, then focus primarily on int for magic attack, followed by luck to boost critical hits. For gear affixes, try to save some affix that has magic attack, critical hit, and critical damage. And for the card preparation, save up for Elder Willow, Baby Desert Wolf, Baphomet Jr., Lunatic, Wormtail, and Zerom. Size and racial cards are also important for the late game. The job classes that can easily switch to this build are the Priest and Wizards. Then for an Auto Bolter build, you need to have more attack speed, so your stats will be more on agility, then get a bit of dexterity to reduce the casting time of some skills, and the remaining is on the int and luck. For gear affixes, try to save some affix that has magic attack, critical hit, and critical damage. On the runes, you should have the attack speed. And the cards that you need to prepare are the Thief Bug, Baphomet Jr., Matir, Male Thief Bug, and Kukri cards. Proc cards like Sidewinder, Bongon, and Injustice are optional since they are physical damage, but I will discuss this build further on the release, and I will also make a full guide. The job classes that can easily switch to this build are the Assassins, and attack speed build Knights, Hunters, and Blacksmiths. So there you have it. I hope this video helps you in preparing to switch to another alternative second job. And if you do, please leave a like. Also subscribe to support my channel. As always, thank you for watching, stay safe, and have an awesome day. Lights out.